You know, I embarked on my education about these issues 5.5, 6 years ago. And I'm now persuaded that I am indeed going to die. And every year, unknowingly, I pass the anniversary of my death. Who knows what day it will be, but I go by it unknowingly every year. It's just waiting for me. It's not a day that's probably going to matter very much to me in terms of the date, but my kids will know it. That'll be a significant date for them for as long as they're alive after I'm gone. Who knows what it is? Maybe it's today, May 7th. Who knows? Hope if it is, it's a lot of May 7th away from now, because I sure love this life. When the time comes, it's not going to be easy. I've watched enough people go through the process now. It's hard to leave everything. Your work and your family and your home and your community and this earth and all the unknowns. Nobody really knows where we come from. Nobody really knows where we go. Don't know is a big part of what happens at the end of life. We're going in the big don't know. So one of the things we have to give up too is our certainty. Maybe more people don't go to hospice because it's easier to resist looking at the don't know. Especially when there's so much noise and clutter and distraction. No, what you need is another surgery. I'm in charge here and I say you need chemo. In my experience, radiation is the right answer for your thing. You know, we have this new medicine. Maybe you need to try shark's venom. We're doing stem cell stuff now. You know, a little gene therapy to take care of you. I mean, you just hear all this stuff. It's like, okay, if you can make the don't know 5 years away instead of 5 months away, okay. I'm terrified. You're the expert. I'm only going to do this once. You've seen it a lot of times. Help me do it well. Human nature, in other words. And there's no cure for human nature. Nor should there be, for the most part. And yet, now, we do see it coming. A guy who was a former next-door neighbor of mine is about 4 months past a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. So what's he got? 4 months more? 6? He doesn't have a year, right, for pancreatic? He doesn't have a year. Now that we know that, a little bit of the don't know is gone away. Brad knows. So even though I fully accept that I'm going to go, I'd love it if I had a little time to plan. I don't need years, you know, but I think a little time would be great. There will be fences that I'll want to mend because I'm human. I make mistakes like anybody. There'll be people I want to connect with. There'll be conversations I want to have with my sons. So then you do have something to give you energy and to make you think about the don't knows and how you want to get from here to there. And hospice absolutely makes that possible, and facilitates it and helps it, and considers that stuff every bit as important as the medical stuff that you get at the end of life. And they do the medical stuff terrifically well too. Certainly way, way better than the options. So maybe it's about like the more we can get to a place of saying, I'm gonna die. And it's going to happen sometime in the next 6 months or 4 months or a year. How can I make the most of it? What can I do to make it the best? There's a guy I interviewed, one of the last people I interviewed when I was working on this book. And he didn't make it into the book, but he made it into a magazine piece I wrote later. He worked at, in New Hampshire, he worked at a school for, it was kind of a reform school, I guess, really, now that I think about it. It was for bad boys. And I said, oh, what was your job there? And he said, well, you know, I was custodian, and I was bus driver, and I was enforcer. He married, he had one daughter, she lived in Florida. And when I saw him, he had leukemia, and he'd had chemotherapy, and it wasn't working. So when I interviewed him, he was having a platelet infusion. They had stopped the chemo. He was just getting platelets to keep his blood strong for as long as it was going to last. And they said to him, you're probably not going to make it for Christmas. And his daughter was going to come up with the grandkids for Christmas. And he said, maybe you better come for Thanksgiving. And it was about first week in November when I interviewed him. And I said, how does that feel? And he said, well, they're coming. They're coming. And I said, do you think it'll be sad? And he said, these kids are 6 and 8 years old. You know what the hug of a 6-year-old is like? And if it's the last one you're going to have in your life, it's just going to be the best possible feeling imaginable. Here's this guy who's as tough as a 10-penny nail. He's sitting in his bed hugging an imaginary 6-year-old to his chest. And why is that happening? Because a hospice volunteer facilitated somebody who got some money together for a plane ticket to get those kids up. And, you know, I wished I could have been there for that moment, but I can sure imagine. If he knows he's not going to be around at Christmas, and he gets his arms around that 6-year-old, never going to let her go. Well, there's life. Life is just a 6-year-old girl we don't want to let go, you know? And if hospice can get us one more hug, you know, what's better than that?